100%.
We're in now.
So the test series
Open now.
3 days time, but analysis.
It is open now. The link is just open. Okay. Bye from me.
Got it.
Okay.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
I just about made it, I think.
The meeting is starting at 4 o'clock. Yes. You've got the wrong time, Emilio.
Yeah, it's just fallen short. Completely.
It's oh no.
Hotspot at the moment.
You're right. I probably won't be able to get them now. I've printed them out. You'll just have to have a go your best, I think. Okay. I think Frank has got everybody in, so it's open.
Yes.
See you in a minute. Yeah. Okay. Cheers. See you soon. Oh. Hello, everybody.
Hi.
Because I saw that.
Apologies, Emilio, who should have launched the meeting, had got the time wrong. He'll be joining us soon. Hello, Mary.
Hi, Trevor. Somebody from our club is just having trouble logging on. She doesn't have a Google account, so I don't know if that's an issue or not, but I was going to resend the link. You say shouldn't be. Okay. I'll send the link to her again and then text it to her.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let me do that. Let's see. And Phyllis was the other one. Okay. That's her number. Oops. 4. Let me just find the link again. Oh, no, I can't get this to her. Oh, wow.
Emilio.
There. Now, we'll see if that works.
Good luck.
Okay. Okay. Now I'm back. I'll unmute myself. Oops, how do I do that? Unmute. Oh, right there would be good. Okay. Oh, maybe there. There.
Hello, good afternoon, good morning from Sweden.
Oh,
Hi.
hi.
Morning, afternoon.
Right. Okay. Trevor, can you hear me?
Yes, I can, loud and clear.
Okay, because my thing says it's blocked, but no, there I am back again. Okay. Anyhow, I texted the link, so hopefully that person will join us. So we have 3 people here in the morning. Yvonne is also in our time zone. Hmm.
And
Yeah.
Rachel is in your time zone, who has just joined, or is even further across, actually.
Oh,
Hello.
yeah. That's right. Where are you
Good
calling
morning,
from,
Rachel.
Morning.
Morning.
I'm in Costa Rica.
Wow.
Where are you?
In Boston. Actually, and
Oh,
Lois is
okay.
here. Sorry. Yeah.
The same side of the Atlantic, anyway.
Yeah. Wow.
What
Do you
time
live
is it
there or
there?
what?
Like 9 o'clock?
10 o'clock.
Oh, you're 2 hours ahead. I thought it was only 1.
Oh, okay. So you're at 8 o'clock. So you're just getting,
Yeah.
Wow.
Rachel, do you live?
Strange, because usually I join these meetings at about 2 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, wow. It's somebody I think was going to ask where in Costa Rica
I
are you?
don't. Can you hear me? I don't know if I'm on.
Yep, you
Oh,
are now,
yeah.
Jeff.
Yeah,
Yes.
Rachel, I was. Do you live in Costa Rica? Or you're on holiday there.
I live here. I've been here for 4 years. Previously lived in Spain.
Very
Oh,
nice. Very nice.
Wow.
Hi, can you hear me now, please?
Yeah.
This
Yes.
is Emilio. Sorry, I had some problems with the speakers and the microphone.
Okay. Now. Yeah.
Nice to see you again, all.
Let's see if we have any messages from.
That's a lovely room you have behind you there, Mary.
Yes, don't you like that? It's Google. It's Google's best. Okay, it looks like Nanda's going to try to download the app. Okay, she said the link wasn't working, so yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I came on a couple minutes early, so I decided my room was a little boring, but this one looked nice. I could have been in a tent too. That looked kind of fun.
I'll have to see if I can get a palace to go behind me.
Yeah. Trevor, I looked on the map. Are you across from the Lake District National Park? Lakes District?
No, no, it's the Peak District National Park that I live by.
Wow, okay. Peak District. Wow.
One of our photos you have coming up today actually is taken in the Lake District by one of our members, not my picture.
Mhm.
You'll see a Lake District picture.
Oh, okay.
The Lake District is about 2 hours drive up the motorway from here.
Further north. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Is there oh, there it is, participants. So Nanda's still having trouble downloading.
We can certainly hang on for a few more minutes yet to allow Nanda to connect.
Yeah. Nanda's our creative star.
She sure is.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I see. Lois is also on a Google Island.
Yes,
thought about that
I
one.
just found the backgrounds and I'm choosing one that I think is I don't know, the most fun.
Yeah. I know. Yeah. Oh, but NG. Oh, she's NG. No, that's not Nanda. I don't think. Yeah. But Dave's background looks like the Google background. Is that your real background, Dave?
Yeah, that's my background.
Wow. So you're in Spain?
Yes, I'm in Spain in Majaca.
Wow. It's beautiful.
It's a bit warmer.
Is it? Yeah. How warm is it?
It's in the 30s, I would say.
Okay.
But it's very humid, very close.
Yeah. That's what they're predicting here for the next few days, 3 days.
Good.
Oh, okay. Now, Nanda's here. She's looking for the meeting code. Oh, Phyllis just joined. Do we have a meeting code?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Let's just see.
Hmm.
There
I
is,
didn't see a code. No
There's a
code.
meeting code, yes.
There is?
Okay. Could
If
you
you're
tell me?
ready to,
Yeah, I can type it in.
it is Yankee Echo Delta,
So Y
YED.
D, capital letters, or does it matter?
No, lower, all lowercase.
All
Everything's
lowercase, okay.
lowercase.
YED, okay.
YED
Yep,
hyphen
hyphen.
Alpha Charlie Indigo Bravo ACIB
B, okay.
hyphen November Golf Uniform NGU.
NGU. Okay, I'll send that to her. Hopefully she'll get that. Yes. Okay. Hi, Phyllis.
Hello, Phyllis.
Hi,
Ah,
hi.
you made it.
I did. And
Yeah.
I even got my, I turned on my Outlook and I even got the Outlook on my new computer.
Wow.
I've
That's
been
good.
spending, I spent yesterday, I think I deleted, because I got the message that my mailbox was full.
Yeah.
I deleted about 500 emails.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I have many, many more to delete. It's like, why don't I just delete them when I finish reading them? Why do I save them?
I
I don't
know.
know, thousands. It's annoying.
Yeah.
And it's a new computer, and I just got Microsoft 11, and I don't know where the hell anything is anymore. It's no fun being old and trying to learn new things. I know you can teach your old dog new tricks, but it ain't easy getting old.
Yeah. Oh, well.
And now, on this computer, I can only see 8 people, even though it says there are 18 here. I wonder
Yeah.
how can I see everybody? I like seeing people. Where are you all?
Yeah. Is there a way
We are
to change
hiding
it?
somewhere.
Yeah.
So can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't need a code. All I did is click on the link and I came right in.
Yeah, same here, but I don't know. Nanda was
Yeah.
having some trouble, but
can't-
she's
I'm
here.
she's here now. So
We can't see you, Elizabeth, because you're blocked out.
Yeah, I unless I plug a camera in, I don't actually have a camera on. This is a desktop computer, so unless I go plug a camera in, I don't have one.
Yeah. But mostly we'll be looking at the images anyways. So
Yeah. It just chews up
Yes.
bandwidth, so I don't plug it in.
yeah.
To answer the question about how do I see more people,
Mhm.
on the bottom of the screen, there are a number of little icons in circles. The right-hand side one is 3 vertical dots. It's located immediately to the left of the red hang up button.
Oh yeah.
If you click on there, the top one is change layout.
Ah.
And you can change the layout that you are seeing via
okay.
that means.
Oh, and then it says tiles the maximum to display. Depends on your window size.
Oh,
Yeah.
wait a minute.
Oh yeah.
You mean the one that says video settings?
Well, first
No, across the bottom, you will see, going from right to left, a red telephone symbol.
Oh,
which is
yes.
leave
Okay.
call. To the left
All right.
of that, you've got three dots called more options if you put your mouse over it. And
So
if you click on
change-
that 3 dots, change layout allows you to change the image that you've got, that you are seeing on your screen.
And you can choose under tiles, I suppose, because I'm seeing it in Dutch, how many tiles you see. I've put it to 42, and I think I see everyone who's in the meeting.
I did the same, but I saw it in English, which is good, because if I saw it in Dutch, I still would be trying to figure it out. So, okay. Should we?
I see tiled. I changed the tile, but there's no way I can change it. I don't see where I can change it to like 42 or 53, or I just changed the layout.
It's a,
There's like a bar across the bottom you can move across.
yeah, thanks.
Oh, I see.
Tiles, it says, yeah.
Okay. I changed it to 42. Oh, boy, everybody looks warm and comfy.
Yeah.
I just couldn't figure out how I could change my photo, so I just picked office setting instead of going to my. That's okay. I'm still learning my new computer, but it's great to see everybody. Hi.
Yeah.
Well, can I say hello and welcome to everybody. Thanks for having this as a second session following our session last year. We certainly in our club, and I think the feedback from Gateway was the same, that we both found it extremely enjoyable last year, but we both noted the same shortcoming, in that I think last year we were a bit of a victim of our own success, in that it didn't last for 2 hours, it lasted more like 3 hours, which is a bit too long. So I've been talking with Mary about how we best manage our images, and what we have decided to do is to show the images in groups of 4 images at a time. We'll have 4 presented from Vera International, followed by 4 from Gateway, and so on. When we present the first image, we will ask the author of that image, if they are here and have left suitable text, to just give a very brief outline of their photograph, why they took it, what appealed to them, what motivated them, or any other special considerations relating to that image that they wish to relay. At the end of the 4 images, whilst they are still fresh in our minds, we'll then open it up for a general discussion of the 4 images together, where you can make comments on any one of those images or all of them, should you please. So that's the plan for how we work. Hopefully everything will go smoothly, and we'll finish just about bang on the 2 hours that we have allotted ourselves for this meeting. Fingers crossed. So I will endeavour to share my screen. Can you see that? I'm just going to try and enlarge the screen. Can you all see that image?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
This first image, one other comment to make, Gateway have provided titles for all their images, and I will read those out. We unfortunately have been a bit lazy, and it's my fault because I didn't ask members to put a title on their images. So we are a mixture of some untitled and some titled. That's my fault, so apologies to both our members and to Gateway for that. The first image is by Andy Funnell, and Andy, I believe, is in the meeting, so over to you.
All right.
Yeah.
Andy,
Sorry.
can you hear it?
Sorry, was just trying to look for the unmute button. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yeah. Okay, so this was taken in a museum, which was a former convent in Santiago de Compostela in the north west of Spain. The city itself is famous for the pilgrimage walks which end there. But anyway, I really like this image. It's a triple helix staircase. So you've got 3 staircases that run together and each start and end up on different floors. And I like the symmetry and the lighting, although the lighting could be better with some of the little lamps that were there that you can see on the first couple of levels, but not really a lot I could do about those. I really like the symmetry, and it works quite well in black and white. I think that's all I can say on that one.
Sorry.
I think
Andy,
that's all I
thank
can
you very
say on
much
that one,
indeed.
unless anybody's got any questions.
We'll take the questions as they're after the 4. The second image is by Frank Notteboom, and Frank is also here.
Yes.
Frank?
Yeah, this is a composite photo. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. It's a composite photo. It's a bar in Almeria where I found this. And I had to make the photo because I think it's now it's decorations, but it once were elements that were very significant for people to symbols of how they see life and the context they live in. And I think it's very contemporary because we now look at these things with maybe offended, or maybe we find it ridiculous, but the beauty of life is moving, which I want to symbolize with the moving lilies in front of it. And we still have people trying to tell us what to think, what to believe, what to say, whereas the reality is untouchable and moving in front of us, and we have to try to see the real beauty and the real reality, which is personal. This is what I try to put in the photo, because the anarchistic poster in the center actually says, "Only God can judge me," which is very funny and maybe ironic for an anarchistic poster. Anyway, that's it.
Thank you, Frank. The third image is by Alf Taylor, and Alf is also in the meeting. Alf, are you able to comment?
Yes, basically it's I took it about 10 years ago. I very rarely do black colour. I'm more black and white. And I saw this, I call it a mural on a wall. Basically, it's just a poster what's been torn and ripped and been open to the weather. And I thought it was an interesting and very colourful photograph. So I presented it.
Mm-hmm. Says a lot about Spain. Thank you, Alf. The final picture of ours is by Ostriciano Arribas. Ostriciano's English is a little bit rusty, and he's asked me to present on his behalf. This photograph was taken in the town of Vera, which is the town of our photographic club's name, in Almeria. And here we have a woman who expresses her grief for her lost son. She's standing at the door of her house, waiting for the procession to go past. You can see the photo of her son, and the images, and the images that she cherishes. She wants to keep the memory of her lost son alive. So at this point, that's the first four images from our club. Please feel free to make comments on any of the four, and I can flip back to any individual image as you require. So over to you.
I was curious about how the picture of the staircase was taken to get it so perfectly centered.
Yeah, there was on the floor there was like a little painted circle which showed you exactly where the center of the staircase was. So I laid on the floor and put my head on the circle. Took the picture pointing upwards.
It's a great image.
Yeah.
It's a great staircase. You have to. The image doesn't do it justice. It was built in the 1600s or 16th century, I think, 1500 and something or other. And I mean, the engineering and the beauty of it, and it's just, we don't build stuff like that anymore. Everything is glass and steel and boring, and if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
If there are no further comments, I shall move on to the fifth image, and the first one from Gateway. I apologize if I mispronounce anybody's name. Since I don't know you personally, I will make my best effort. So the next one is entitled Beach Day USA by Alan Stacey.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah.
Hi.
Am I vocalizing it?
Yep.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, this is a beach town in Maine, the state of Maine, called Ogunquit. And I was actually sort of trying to catch some shots of some seagulls, and then these three folks walked by, and I just had to take the shot. But it's a very popular beach, certainly for people from Massachusetts who like to drive up, and also from people from Quebec, Canada, also come down a lot because it's sort of one of the closest beaches for them. That it's a little bit warmer than Canada.
Thank you.
Oh,
the next one. The next one is by Mary, and it's Celtic's Victory, or Celtic's Victory, depending on the pronunciation.
Yep. This is the Celtics. So this is one of the pictures that both pictures that I put in, I wouldn't put in competition, but this was the Celtics, Boston Celtics. It's a year old when they won the championship in 24 rather. And it was just, our city we have duck boats that mostly do tourist things, except when teams win, which unfortunately doesn't look good for this year, but they run the players in the duck boats, and it was just like a happy day. And like so many events now, everybody in front of me has their phones up, as did I, shooting a million pictures. And it wasn't until the end of the day or actually till last week when I looked at the pictures and I realized, like, oh, there's Jason Tatum holding the trophy and he's one of the stars, and then a couple Peyton Pritchard, if you know the Celtics, on the other side. There's also confetti, so that was just a joyous day in Boston.
The third one is called Date Night by Nanda Rowe.
Hi,
Nanda's
everybody.
now with us.
Hi. Hola,
Hi, Nanda.
España. I hope I said that correctly. This is one, I'm out of the creative space at the club, and I deal a lot in abstract concepts. And sometimes they're simple, sometimes they're complex. This is an example of a simpler one. And all I can say about this is everyone has seen flamencos, but no matter what, love is the same in any language. And that's really the main point.
Thanks, Nanda. The final one is Flying High Dog by Mary again.
Yeah. This is another that I wouldn't put in competition because I'll have to confess that the green trees in the background are AI generated. It really is a parking lot. And this is not, Elizabeth, I know, has dogs and participates in formal agility training, which is a whole different ball game. This is one man who has taught a set of dogs to catch frisbees. And it seems like a rather unique thing that's sort of entertaining. And I thought it was a good opportunity to try and catch dogs in midair. This dog isn't, but he's in front of the sign. So, and it's just our library invites him to open up the summer reading program. So.
Okay.
Can I ask one question?
Sure.
Nanda Hurl?
Yes.
Your flamencos, is that their natural color, or did you do anything to it?
No, I do a lot of composite work, and what I do is the colors or the lines, the shapes, the textures really have to do with the storyline and what I'm thinking and feeling and trying to convey in that particular picture. The one thing to remember about compositing and the creative space is that it's not documentary. So if people are looking for real life details of what a flamenco looks like or whatever, they won't find it in my work because my work is interpretive, not documentary. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
So how did you produce the images of the flamenco? Were they painted or you?
No. Everything is photographed. What I do is I determine what the conceptual storyline is first, and whatever it seems to tell me, that's what I go with. So when I saw the flamencos, everybody has seen them, so they have these crooked necks, and they seem to kind of naturally go into a heart, which is kind of schmaltzy in many ways, but it just tells you that humans and animals have a lot of similar behaviors. And so I imagine, what could love look like for a flamenco like it does for a human? And that's why you see it represented the way it is. Like I said, it's a simple composite, and it's designed simply to tell one quick idea. Dating is the same in any language, whether you're a human or you're an animal.
Okay, so were there two different flamencos that you put them together?
Two different flamencos.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I was just wondering that because my OCD in me points out that you can see where at the bottom where the necks cross, you can see the back.
Yes.
You can see the back flamingo underneath its neck.
Yes.
Which you shouldn't be able to see that.
Well, this is true in the space I work in. Everything that you see, whether it's an anomaly or something that you think shouldn't be there, in my work, it's always done deliberately to make a point. And I don't want things to look symmetrical because this is not a symmetrical idea. It's just an idea that's kind of fluid. And I wanted that represented in the way that I showed the flamencos. So you can rest easy.
Nice work.
Did you? I think it's truly beautiful. So with the flamencos, did you use sort of a blend darken mode to put them on top of the image?
What I do is I'm a Photoshop person. I don't use Lightroom because they don't have the layer capabilities. So anyone that knows Photoshop, in order to do compositing work, you have to be able to have different layers so that you can use different blending modes. And depending on the mood I'm trying to create and the color scheme and the idea, I use different blending modes to make that come to life. And that's why you're seeing that difference in coloring that you're talking about.
It's a truly lovely image.
Thank you.
And I feel the first two images scream America, especially this one.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
Those three chairs, yeah, it just it screams America.
Yeah. Right. Mhm.
Really is. Mhm. Yeah.
Okay, the next image is entitled Lake District by Dave Hornsey. And Mary, this is the Lake District image that I was referring to earlier today. Dave unfortunately can't be here. He's got a major air show just around the corner from where he lives, and he can't resist going there to take photographs today. So we'll be missing both Dave and Janet Hornsey, who have an image in here. But Dave's left words, which I will now read out for you. For those who don't know, the Lake District is a national park in the northwest of England. It is very photogenic and very widely photographed. Janet and I were having a short break there, and we got up early to take sunrise pictures of one of the tarns. Tarns are small lakes that nestle in the hills naturally formed. But we're disappointed that we couldn't get the combination of composition and the colours that we wanted. But on the drive back to our hotel for breakfast, we came past this stream, which gave me the drama in the sky, set against the hill with a mountain stream running under the bridge. Well, this is his resultant photograph.
Mm-hmm.
The next image is Cycling Jews in Antwerp by Marlene Herpeling. Is Marlene in the meeting?
I'm afraid she's not
Marlene?
here.
Oh
No,
dear.
I'm afraid she's not here. She had her graduation this weekend and her jury for her sculpture. So
she hadn't sent me any text to read out for this, so you just have to look at the image without any background, unfortunately. Apologies for that on Marlene's behalf. The next image is from Eileen Dahlin, and Eileen is here in Sweden. Eileen.
Yes, thank you so much. Yes, I'm here, and my husband and I will live by a fjord, which is about 130 kilometers south of Stockholm, which is the capital of Sweden. But in this fjord is part of the Baltic Sea, and sometimes in the winter it freezes totally, or more or less totally, and one day, when it was snowing, I saw this man coming in his boat, and I found it very interesting. Like, it looks like he's driving on the ice and snow, and I took this photo. And I must tell you, it's not a black and white photo; it's a color photo. So, but it is the colors that were on that day. Thank you.
Thank you, Eileen. And the next one is by Angel Mejias, is Angel with us today? I hadn't noticed him. I don't think Angel is with us. And Angel hasn't given me any details of this, but I have seen the photograph before. This photograph is taken in Baracas Airport in Madrid. And that's probably as much as I can actually say about it, without Angel being able to pass on further details. So apologies for that, but we are missing Angel today.
Terry?
So those are...
This is
Hello?
Alan. This is Alan. Could you go back to the first picture of the Lake District?
Yes, there you
I just
are.
want to say that I once had the opportunity to tent in the Lake District and found out why it's the Lake District, because it rained the entire time. But that is a gorgeous photo, and I wish I had seen that when I was there many, many years ago.
It does catch an awful lot of rain. As I have found the autumn and winter time the best time to photograph the Lake District. And this clearly is that sort of time of year. Any comments on this or any of the other photographs in the set?
I like the way the background is black and white in this one.
Yes.
You know, it really makes the people stand out.
I agree.
Also makes it look rather timeless with that black and white and slightly blurry background. And the background includes bicycles.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Yes, for me, it is good that they are on bicycles and there are bicycles in the background.
Yeah.
I like the collection of leading lines on this.
Yeah.
Yes.
Me too. And yeah, and it's amazing how sharp they are. The bicyclists are really in focus too. They did a good job with that.
The next image is Gateways. This is called The Arch from Lois. I hope we get the surname right. Galuso.
Yes, that's close enough. Lois Galuso. Hello, everyone. This is basically just a documentary photo. This is the St. Louis Arch, which is St. Louis, by the way, is in Missouri. It's pretty much in the center of the country, both north, south, and east, west. This is a memorial to westward expansion of the United States. The people are there to show the scale. It is 630 feet tall, which is 192 meters. It is the tallest monument in the United States, taller than the Washington Monument in Washington, D.C. It's located on the bank of the Mississippi River, which is the longest river in North America, actually. You can ride up to the top of that. There actually are two trains. There are tram trains. One leaves from each leg of the arch, and one coming up, the weight of one coming down pulls the other one up. And as you can see, you're not going straight up because it is an arch. So when you ride up to the top, there's an observation area up in the top. So there are windows and you can look out. When you ride up to the top, you're riding in a little pod that is not tall enough to stand up in, but it holds maybe 5 or 6 people. And it starts going up and then it has to tilt. And because once it tilts to a certain degree, I guess, it corrects. And then it goes up a little farther and it corrects again. So you're vertical and then you're leaning and then it goes vertical again. It's just kind of a fun experience. So again, just a documentary photo. It was a real challenge to get something that's 192 meters tall in one photo. It required a very wide angle lens.
Yep.
Thank you, Lois. This one is entitled Ice Cream After Dark from Alan Stacey.
Well, I think this probably says it best because we love ice cream, we love our pizza, and we love our beer. And I think I got them all in the one picture. It was actually, we were, myself and another friend, we were doing some night photography for one of the competitions. And this was one of the images I got. But kind of says Americana.
Where was it taken?
In Ashland, Massachusetts.
Thanks.
The next image is Grist Mill by Elizabeth Evans.
Elizabeth's
Do you
here.
have Elizabeth? I thought
yeah.
so.
She's okay.
Sorry, my mute button wasn't working. So this is actually a water-powered stone mill. It's part of it's on the site of a very historic inn. Thank you. A very historic inn in Massachusetts. It's a part of what's called Wayside Inn, which goes back to 1716, and it's one of the oldest operating inns in the United States. And to me, it's just kind of a classic New England photo, New England winter photo. So I think it's Mary was commenting. Practically every competition we have has some photo of this mill in it.
Yeah.
Thanks, Elizabeth. And then the final one of these 4 is entitled Haley Dance Group by Phyllis Wiseman.
Hi, I'd like to do
Phyllis.
creative. I like to do creative. I'm not as good as Nanda or as Peggy, but I have fun with it. And this is a photograph of my one of my nieces, and she was a dancer, and this was at one of her presentations. And I can't even remember. I just played with the different tools that I have, in Lightroom or in Photoshop. And when I hit a slider and did this and that and up and down, and I saw this and I loved it. I just thought it was very creative, and I enjoyed playing with the tools that are available in both of those outlooks. So, and of course I have the original, but the original is great. I mean, I think it's great and I'm not prejudiced, but I just thought this was so different. And I actually had it hanging in my wall. And when my niece and my family saw it, they knew exactly who it was. That made me feel good.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's excellent. Well done.
Thank you. And all you do is you play with the sliders. You don't have to do with Nanda. You have to, I believe, know a little bit more about what you're doing because it's not a composite. But with all I did was play with the colors and the saturations and the transform, and that's what I got. I don't even know if I could do it again, but there is a history, I suppose, I could look at.
There is one of the filters called Find Edges, which is very good for producing something not too dissimilar to this. But
yeah,
what I like about this is the way that you've got the biggest edges in the center where the faces and the people are, and it's fine lines towards the outside. The fine edges tool just does the whole image exactly the same. So I think this works incredibly well.
thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Mhm.
And like all it is playing with the tools you have. With
Mm.
Nanda, she's got all in her mind. She's got a great mind, and the same with Peggy. I don't know if Peg did anything, but
Yeah. So, yeah.
Sorry.
No, I was just gonna ask Phyllis, so your niece is the dancer in the front, right? And then
Correct.
she's part of a group, yeah.
yeah.
No, that's great.
And it really, if you know her, you know it's her,
Yeah,
which is weird.
yeah,
In
that's
fact,
great.
they asked for a copy, and I framed a copy for them, which of
Yeah.
course makes me feel wonderful, you know? Somebody
Yeah.
wanted my work.
Yeah.
I like the simplicity of the color scheme on this as well.
Yeah, it's true.
Mhm.
Going back to that arch, yeah, you need the people there to give you the scale.
Mhm.
That works.
Thank you.
Yeah. Lois, I didn't realize it's taller than the Washington Monument, the Gateway Arch.
Yes,
Yeah.
quite a bit, actually.
Yeah.
I think this is 630 feet. I think the Washington Monument is about 550.
Wow. Yeah.
Visit a monument too.
Mhm.
It's a centenary.
I think Lois is Lois broke up a little bit there. I think she mentioned westward
Andy, was that-
expansion.
I just lost my network connections somehow.
Yeah.
What lens did you use?
Yeah, I lost my connection. I don't know
You're
why.
back now.
We can hear you now.
Sorry, what lens did you use for the
Emilio asked what lens.
Oh, yeah.
Louis?
I don't know what happened.
Lois,
I think it's
are you able to hear us, Lois?
Lois, when you get to the top, is there an observation deck, or you just go up, stay, and
I've
go
lost
down?
I lost my internet.
Which text?
Oh, okay.
Are you with us now, Lois?
I think she lost her internet connection.
Yeah.
It's not moving. So
Yeah.
Maybe she'll
No.
return.
No.
Yeah.
Maybe she'll
Sorry,
return to us within a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can come back to this picture in a moment when Lois is back with us. I would just like to say on this one, I think the vignetting works extremely well on this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
It's true.
Did you use this
Great,
handheld or with the
Alan, great color in this.
I'm sorry?
Great use of color.
is taking handheld or
Sorry, go ahead.
sorry? Did you take it with a tripod or just handheld?
That was handheld. But I don't know that I actually vignetted it. I just think that's sort of how the shadows fell.
Wow.
Oddly, and I did use in Lightroom, I played around with some of their presets, and this one kind of brought everything out in a sort of a colorful, a little more colorful than the original.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Lois is back.
Lois is back, I think.
Yep.
Are you with us, Lois?
Let's see if she's. Well, she's here twice. I'll unmute her if I can. I can't turn.
Yeah, sorry about that. I lost an internet connection. I don't know why. Were there questions on this?
I had wondered if there was a restaurant or something on the top.
No,
So
it's
you
only
go-
15, it's only like, it's like 5 meters wide at the top. It's very narrow.
Yeah.
There's just like a little pathway, and then you can see out both sides, in both directions from the top, but it's very narrow up at the top. There is a museum in the base underground.
Oh, okay. So when you're on the top, you're not there long enough to take photographs of the views?
Oh, you can take photos out the windows and so forth.
Okay.
Yes.
Lois,
Okay.
there were 2 questions. One was, what is it a monument to? And the other was, what lens did you use?
This was the widest lens I have. A number of my images of this were taken with my cell phone, but I looked back and apparently this one was not cell phone. So it would have been at a 16 millimeter. I'm sorry. And then what was the other one again?
Now, what is it? Is it a particular monument to
What's
something?
it a monument to?
Yeah.
This was President Jefferson wanted a museum. Wait a minute. Let me see this. It's called the Museum of Western Expansion. It's actually a national monument and a national park. It's the smallest national park in the U.S. It's basically just it's like, wait a minute, I have this somewhere. It's 78 hectares. How do I say that? Hectare?
Yeah.
192 acres. So it's not huge as parks go, but it's basically celebrating the western expansion of the United States.
And it's iconic. It's absolutely iconic for visitors to this country.
Yeah.
Yes.
It speaks volumes to this country. It really does.
Thanks.
But just as a point of interest, a long time ago, shortly after this was built, Daredevil pilots were flying between the legs of the arch.
Wow.
They had to pass a law making it illegal to do that because it was so dangerous.
Wow.
It's also the tallest skateboard ramp in the country.
Yeah.
But they got to go really fast to get up it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great.
Okay, the next image in our sequence today is by Emilio Aramburu, and Emilio is here. Emilio.
Hi. Sorry for my English. Again. Well, in contrast to Nanda, I used to take wildlife photos around my place where I live, in Oaxaca. This shot is a dispute over food of 2 common sparrows, and I put the food in a log in front of me, about 10 meters from me, and I have an Olympus camera that I can take. Its function is the Pro Capture. Then if you press the button, half the button, you can take photos before you press the button and after pressing the button. That permits to take some shots with all the sequence of the flight of the people of the birds and the air with a high speed shot speed. No? And well, I'm happy. I was with a 600 mil lens, more or less, to blur the background and to have in focus just the birds.
That's great.
That's great, Jeff.
Yeah.
Thanks, Emilio.
Beautiful.
Oh.
The next one is entitled Plushy, and that's by Rachel. Rachel is here.
Hello. Taken in Costa Rica, not in Europe. I lived in Spain for many years before I moved here, so thank you for relaxing the rule for me, because it would be a bit difficult to photograph in Europe. There's an ocean in the way. So this was taken on the local beach. I've just started this year doing photo shoots for money, but I'm quite new to portraiture, so I rounded up a few like willing guinea pigs, and she was one of them, to practice on. She was actually in the middle of flicking her hair. She was leaning over and dipping her hair in the ocean and then tossing it back. I was shooting in burst shooting mode, so caught her at this moment. I have a color version as well, and I've decided since I submitted this that I actually prefer the color version, but that's the black and white one. So there you go.
I've taken photographs of women trying to flip their hair. That's really hard to do. So I think this is beautiful. You caught her in mid-action. She looks like she's having fun. I hope it was a warm day, but she looks like she's having fun. But that's hard, very hard to do.
I think there was an element of luck to it. Yeah.
Oh,
and it was warm. I mean, the ocean it's like a bath. So it was fine.
yeah, no, it's hard to do, and it's always an element of luck because you cannot choose when to stop the hair. It just does what it wants.
I was lucky because she had really long hair.
Yeah.
So it looked even more dramatic when she did that.
Rachel.
Yeah.
Shutter speed on this image. Do you know?
No.
I didn't catch that.
I asked if you could recall the shutter speed that you used for this image.
Oh, it would have been quite a fast one. I'd have to look at the metadata, but it must have been around 1,000.
Yeah. So she's pushing her hair back. I can't speak to that historically, but I gather what she's doing.
Yeah.
And she's moving, right? She's moving her head, but she's in very sharp focus. That's why I was asking.
Yeah, it was a very bright day. So I would have had it as high as I could have got it. So it must have been around about 1,000.
Yeah. Thank you.
And it's nice that you didn't have the horizon cutting her neck off. That the horizon is on her shoulders, so that's really good.
I wish I could say that's my composition skills, but I think there was an element of luck there as well.
Well, see, now you know.
Yeah, everything just seemed to work quite well with that shot. So thank you.
Yeah. This one is by Jean McPherson, and unfortunately, Jean is away at the moment, so couldn't be with us. She has left me some notes. She says she has chosen an image taken on the black sand beach at Stocksness in Iceland. This is an iconic and heavily photographed location where strange clumps of grass punctuate the black sand beach, with the imposing and iconic Vestrahorn forming the backdrop. Vestrahorn is normally covered in cloud, but Jean says she was lucky to have clear skies on her visit. I know how lucky she is. I've been there a few times. I've spent a total personally of 4 days there, and I've yet to be there when it's not raining or snowing. So that's Jean's image. And the last one is Goran Aberg, and Goran is with us.
Yes,
Goran?
I'm here, Trevor. This is from Sweden, and in the spring, and after the winter, when the sea has been frozen, and when the ice breaks up, it's kind of a spectacular event, because all the cracking ice and it's drifting away by the sea, by the streams, and it pulls up along the shores, and on top of each other it stacks up, and it's creaking and it makes lots of noise. It was just a short time when it starts moving. Thank you.
It's
Any comments? I love the shapes and textures in this one.
Yeah,
The lighting really works well too.
right.
And being in black and white, I think really brings out the textures.
Yeah. And is this one made in black and white? I mean,
No.
it's intentionally black and white, or was that the color?
It was taken in color, but then I shifted it more into black and white, because to exaggerate actually the contrast between the white ice and the black stone.
Yeah. No, it works well.
Ellen, where did you say that that was?
Where? When?
Or where?
Where? It was Sweden, actually. Sweden along the Baltic coast, in the Baltic Sea.
Oh.
Wow. A few months later than the previous Swedish picture with the lake, the frozen lake.
Yeah, maybe that, yes, the first picture, that was of my wife. And then when the fjord or the Baltic started to freeze, so it was thin ice. But then a couple of months later, I mean, it gets thicker and thicker, and then in spring it breaks up. So it was 2 different parts of the year. I mean, the ice coming down and the ice breaking up. So
Yeah. No, that was a good contrast.
Thank you.
And any comments on the remaining images?
Can you go back to the one in Iceland with the black sand? Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. What? Again, the lens here and the back is not the back. The whatever that mountain thing is, it's not crystally sharp, but it's pretty sharp, given how far away it is and given how sharp the foreground here is. I was just curious how that was done.
Yeah.
I would say, having been there and knowing the scale involved, I would say this would be something like a 70 to a 90 millimeter lens on the camera.
Oh,
right.
Wow.
Thank you.
Thanks. Yeah.
When I was there were literally hundreds of photographers around. And I don't know what it would be like on a clear sunny day, because I went out in the sleet and drizzle taking photographs.
Could you go back to the bird picture?
Yeah.
That's an incredible shot.
Yeah.
Absolutely incredible. It's so sharp.
That was my comment too. Yeah.
And with the 600 millimeter, is that what I heard?
Yeah. Well, really, it's a 300 millimeters, but it's an Olympus camera. It's a micro four thirds.
Got it. Right.
Then is similar than 600 mil in full frame. No.
Yeah.
It's very light because it's small camera, smaller and smaller lens, and it's very easy to handle it. And anyway, I was with a tripod and a camouflage net, and just waiting for the birds. They are in the same layer than the food and the log with the food, no? And then I just focus on the log, waiting for the scent, no? Waiting for the birds going up from the log to fight in the air, no? And it's an interesting place because it's a place with water, sweet water, where the birds used to go early in the morning to have a bath or to drink there, no? And just waiting for them there with the first lights of the day.
Great shot.
Yeah, that's great.
Stunning.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's an incredible shot.
Sorry. I've just checked the data on mine and it was 1,000th of a second.
Wow.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mine was 3,200.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah.
Just to stop.
Well, yeah.
So what would you set the ISO to on that?
Sorry?
The comment, the second comment was that there is very little noise in the image. My comment was, what was the ISO that you used?
200.
Oh.
It's a low ISO. Yes, I try to use a low ISO.
Yeah.
Photos, no?
But you shot with a very long lens and very fast shutter. Did you have light on there? Any kind of external light on these birds?
No, it's a natural light.
Wow.
It's well, in Almeria and Oaxaca, we have enough light, sunlight, every time of the year, no? Every day of the year, no? And then it's also at the sunrise, after the sunrise. It's lighting from the right hand side, and then is the reason the background is a bit dark because where the trees behind them, not with light enough yet. Then anyway, I think sometimes I use topaz denoise to take out the noise in some photos. No, and well, works something.
Okay. Thank you very much, everyone. And here we have another of Nanda's creations, Horse of Many Colors. Nanda.
So when picking the photos today, I wanted to show a simple composite, which is the flamencos. And then I wanted to show a more complex one. And this is an example of a more complex one. And what makes it complex is that it's philosophical in nature, and it's really a beautiful story about transformation. And looking at it, if you knew nothing else about the picture, you'd think it's a white horse that is changing colors. And he's in a strange environment that is unnatural colored. And you would leave it at that. But because it's more philosophical, it really tries to capture abstract ideas. And I'm not a nature photographer, but one of the animals that has caught my attention and my, I don't know, I'm really in love with white horses for what they represent. I understand that they're hundreds, thousands of years old. And what's really interesting about them is that very intellectual, and they're very, very capable of adapting to whatever environment that they're in, regardless of how harsh. And I think that the abstract idea here is that whether it's a horse, that spirit is also alive in human beings, and human beings do try to make the best of their environment, and they deal differently with it because they're humans, but they share that bond with animals. So I think that even though I'm not a documentary photographer, I do see a lot of similarities in behaviors between humans and animals. And so I wanted to throw this out simply because the audience is international today, and everyone, because of their backgrounds and their cultures and what they shoot and what they appreciate or don't appreciate, will generate conversation. And I think it's a piece that will bring people together and make of it everybody's perspective be understood better. And even if it gets negative reaction, that's okay too, because it really is to generate conversation. So this is, like I said, a complex idea, and it's very different than any of the other composites that I was going to show you and maybe you have seen in the past. And that's kind of where I'm at. This is a recurrent image. The horses, you'll see them in many of my images because of what they really stand for. And they're all different storylines, but the basic understanding is that they adapt to different environments, and that's what makes them special. And I know that we're supposed to talk about New England or Europe in terms of the photography. All my composites are, it's a no man's land. There's no identification, and that's done on purpose to generate conversation. So that's kind of it in a nutshell.
Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed, Nanda. No doubt we'll come back to this in a minute.
Oh, wow.
The next one is another creative one entitled Look Into My Eyes by Phyllis Wiseman.
Hi, that's another one. I had taken a close-up of somebody's face just because, and then I started playing with the tools in Lightroom and Photoshop. And then when I came to this, I thought, oh boy, people are gonna get scared by it. But I like it. I like the colors. I like the symmetry of the eyes. And I wanted to do abstract and creative because it was mentioned that your club doesn't seem to do much of that, and I wanted to try to encourage people to try to let their creativity flow and have fun. I mean, the great thing about the tools that we have, if you don't like it, you just do Control-Z and you go back to the beginning. So that's why I did this. I really like it. I think it's sort of mesmerizing.
Well, thanks, Phyllis.
I wasn't expecting to come right after Nanda, though.
We've tried to randomize them a bit, so these things happen.
Oh, well.
The next one is entitled The Church from Lois Galuzzo.
Yes,
Lois?
this is the St. Louis Cathedral Basilica, again in St. Louis, Missouri, in the center of the United States. It is a documentary photo, but I love taking photos of architecture, particularly because I'm trying to capture the sense of awe that I feel when I walk into a building like this. It is not possible to walk into this building without looking up and thinking, wow, because it's just a real wow of a building. Anyway, it has, as perhaps the most outstanding or different feature of this particular basilica is that it has 4.1 million 4.5 million pieces of glass. What you're looking at there is all mosaics. The building itself was built between 1907 and 1914 was when the bulk of the building was built. However, it took 7 decades, 70 years to complete all of the mosaics. There are 7,000 different colors of mosaics in this building. It's awesome.
Yeah.
That's pretty.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. Yeah.
You almost don't know where to look. I mean, there's so much to see.
Yeah. I don't think it's possible to capture the feeling you get, but I got as close as I could. Let me say it that way.
Very
And of course,
impressive.
Oh, yeah.
The
having the
final
person
one
there
of the
absolutely
scope.
Yeah. Well, and awestruck.
Yes. This is Mass 250 Battle Road by Elizabeth Evans.
Elizabeth's here.
Yes.
Somehow my unmute isn't working. Can you hear me?
Yep, we can.
Yes, we can.
Okay, so this is the 250th anniversary of the start of the Revolutionary War in Massachusetts, where we live. So there's been all kinds of reenactment events going on, and just different celebratory events. And this was called on the Battle Trail, which was the road from Boston to Concord that the British took, which was actually the start of the Revolutionary War. And it happens to be a trail I walk a lot with friends. It's actually a very, very small national park. And so they were recreating all the battles that took place on April 19th, the day the American Revolutionary War started. So I went out with some friends, brought my camera along, and was able to capture a couple of the reenactment events going on. So the top one is just a photo of the militia, and the bottom one of the redcoats from two different battle scenes that occurred on that trail.
In the bottom one, is that cloud from the gunshot?
No, that's from the gunshot. Actually, both of them, you can see some from the gunshots. Yeah.
You did a great job, Elizabeth.
Oh, thank you.
Those are great photos, Elizabeth. I was there, and my photos don't look like that.
Huh.
Elizabeth, did you apply something to those? They
Yeah,
almost
so I'm
look
actually,
painterly.
I worked with them in Corel Painter. I'm actually trying to learn to do digital photo painting in Corel Painter. And ideally I'm trying to get them to really look like oil paintings. I have another project I'm working on in more detail, but it's not done. So yeah, I was just trying to make them look old, seeing it was supposed to be a recreation of the 1700s. So
You succeeded. In my eyes, you succeeded. It's like Gaussian blur or something like that.
Well, no, it's actually in Corel Painter, so it's actually like paint strokes applied with digital brushes.
It looks, you did a wonderful job.
Oh, thank you.
We should see it in competition, in my humble opinion.
Two good photos. They look like paintings.
Well, like I said, I was trying to. That's what I was trying to do.
Really nice.
And the idea that you did it in a piano makes it even more special, because then you can see more of the action.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, it wasn't a piano. It was just a wide angle shot, but they happened to come out fairly long and narrow, so I could get, one of the colonists and one of the British in the same photo.
And I like your presentation of presenting two, one above the other, so you can really see what it might have been like.
Well, they're actually two different battles. They weren't the same battle.
Yeah. Oh, no, I know that. But I like that you put them on the same piano.
Oh, thank you.
Very interesting technique.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Just go back through the four of them. I feel like asking Nanda if whatever drugs she takes are widely available.
Oh, you're funny, Trevor.
Yeah. No.
I've seen a number of this type of imagery done in photographic clubs and interclub competitions, particularly in the UK. However, I rarely see anything of such a high standard as this. I think this is phenomenal.
Yeah, Nanda is a star unto herself.
Yeah.
Nanda and Peggy Nugent, we all sit there with our mouths open. And, you know, as soon as an image comes on the screen, they're so unique. Oh, that's Peggy.
Yeah.
No,
Right.
that, I mean, you know who they are, and that's a good thing. They are so unique. We have a few members that do this, and it's mind-boggling.
So I would like to share one thing because I know the folks in Spain do not do creatives.
Yeah.
And I will share a personal tip if this helps at all. I've been in the camera club almost 13, 14 years, and I'm sure it's true of Spain as well. You go through the paces, people teach you the different techniques and whatever. But it's like trying to learn a bike. When someone gives you a bike and you don't know how to ride, that's kind of the same thing as learning all the techniques about how to do proper photography. I'm at a point where I'm trying to self-actualize. I come from the world of education, so all my pieces are composites that honor my roots in adult education, photography, and art. And there's always a lesson in there to make us understand what the world is all about. So I promised myself that when I started to self-actualize, that I would do whatever my heart tells me to do. I don't care about the scores. I don't care about winning anything. I want my pictures to have legs, that people will remember them much after I'm gone. And that's more important to me. So if I had any tip to pass along to anybody, be who you are. Don't change your style. Actualize yourself and you will hit the stars. Really.
Yeah. Thanks.
Thanks for that.
And I'm
Yeah.
not smoking anything, Trevor.
I wanted some.
Yeah.
But that was sort of why I put in my two creative. I wanted hopefully to help inspire people to just play with the what you've got. And I mean, I was shocked. I didn't know I was going to get that, but you know, to try to think on a different level.
Yep.
Yeah.
My only comment on this one, Phyllis, is I just find a little distraction from the two tiny bits of orange.
Yeah.
I think if you desaturate the orange, your eyes would just zap into the eyes of the picture. That's what happens to start with. I look at those and then I sort of get pulled to that little bit of orange. I think if you
and sometimes
desaturate that, you can be even stronger.
And sometimes when you look at it, you don't see what you don't see. And then you see it
There
on
you
the
go.
screen and it's like, gosh, I should have done this, that. But I'm like Nanda. I want to win. You know, it's really fun winning first, second, or third, but I want to show my stuff. I want people to see what I see. And if I win, that's wonderful and I'm happy. If I don't win, I'm not happy. But to me, the thing comes to when you come to me after the meeting and say, gee, I liked your shot. That to me makes it a winner.
Well, it's a winner for me.
Yay, thank you.
This reminds me of St. Mark's in Venice, which has, if I recall, a lot of mosaics and a lot of several, obviously lots of places in Italy. But the one in Venice, I think, had a tremendous amount of mosaics in it, if I recall. This is a beautiful shot.
Yeah. Thank you. I was happy to have one person there for scale.
Yeah. Right. Wow.
Yes.
That's beautiful.
And did you use HDR technique for that?
I'm sorry, you asked about HDR?
HDR?
No, I did not. Basically, that's just a lot of sliders in Lightroom, bringing down some highlights, bringing up the shadows.
Very nice.
The light is challenging in there because it's relatively dark, but you have some strong light coming in from the windows. So it's kind of challenging light there.
Yeah. And are you standing at the back of the cathedral, Lois? It almost looks like you're lying back looking up toward the ceiling.
No, I'm standing in the back.
Wow. Yeah. Credit to the Midwest, which us New Englanders often overlook. Yes.
Yeah. We discussed that, yes. Very good. Moving on to the next four. This is from Janet Hornsey and is titled Albarathine. And Janet is at that same air show as her husband, Dave. But she did leave me some notes to read out. Spain has many lovely photogenic old towns and villages. As we drive north through Spain to catch the ferry home to the UK from Santander on the northern coast of Spain, we love to take a few days to explore. On one of these trips, we visited Albarracin and walked through the old buildings on cobbled streets to explore and look for interesting and unusual perspectives. One of my favourite techniques is to look through arches and frame the view, as you see here.
Excuse me, but I have lost the view because Austric joined. I don't know if other people have the same problem.
Yeah, I thought it was me.
Right. Oh, yeah, no, Ostricliano's done something.
Yeah.
He rejoined. He fell out and he rejoined. So.
Oh, right. Let's see if we can. I can deal with that.
I suppose if you share screen again, it might be solved.
I'm trying to get to it. At the moment, I can't see the share screen button, which is gone.
First escape.
The worry about pressing escape is the last. We did a rehearsal. I've got it. I've got it. You got it back.
That's it. Yep. There.
Okay, let me just go back to where we are. Okay, so hopefully you got the commentary, and there is the photograph to accompany my commentary. The next image is by Frank. If you wish to comment, Frank.
Yes, well, we had a hats challenge in the beginning of the year, which I found very funny because and I like to have fun with the photos I make. And I was inspired by the work of a Dutch artist. And she tried to make photos that still look like photos, but are very much inspired by the Renaissance portrait paintings with the clair-obscur type of light. And she uses packaging material to represent or to make it look like they're lace and beautiful clothes. And so I thought I'd ask a few friends of mine and people I know to pose for me against a black piece of fabric. And I used paper bags and old jeans and tablecloths and cheese containers as hats and clothes. And I wanted them to use a different expression in their face, more like the paintings of that period. You only had one portrait made in your life, and that's the way you went down in history, while now we all make tons of selfies or appear on photos almost on a daily basis. And I thought it was a funny idea to try to get some really expressive faces and funny things. So it's a mix of fun and seriousness and trying to put everything into perspective. How futile we are in this place, and but fun and seriousness together, I think. So
I look at this picture and I think of Werner Herzog.
yeah,
and the characters that he has filmed.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I know the one you mean. Yes. Yeah, but it's actually this is Danny. It's a good friend of mine, and he's a very a person that laughs a lot and is always in a good mood. And I asked him to look very serious, and now to me he looks like a merchant from that period who wants to look as if you don't want to mess with him. I think it's a paper bag on his head and old jeans around his neck. So I had a lot of fun making them, and a lot of fun, or it was very educational to try to get post-production right, to make it look more like a painting without losing the effect of the sharpness of the photo.
Thank you, Frank. This is a photograph by one of our newest members to our club, Miguel Angel. I don't know if Miguel is here. I've not seen him up. Miguel?
No.
I apologize. We don't have Miguel with us, and Miguel has not sent me any accompanying text for me to read out. So apologies for that. So we'll just have to move on to the next image. Sorry. This one is from Richard Jennings, who is another new member to our club. Richard, are you here?
I am, and brand new member, and a recent transplant from the U.S. To wonderful Spain, and I entered this. I entered this initially without knowing that we were supposed to enter images from Europe, but I'd seen something about entering a signature image. And when I was in the States, I did a lot of black and white and a lot of seascapes, and lived in the Pacific Northwest for almost 3 years. And just, and also, given that this is a joint meeting of two photo clubs, I wanted to enter something that not only did well in a photo club competition, but kind of represented how much I'd learned by being part of photo clubs, especially one that I first joined in San Jose, California, and then another one on the Oregon coast. So at any rate, I appreciate this dispensation to enter a U.S. image, because in my I only arrived here in late February and spent most of that time trying to find a place to buy and then fix it up and get moved in. So I've only begun taking images that I'm liking of Spain. So at any rate, this one is Yakima Head Lighthouse, which is on the coast in Oregon, near Newport, Oregon. And it was first place black and white for the Pacific Northwest Camera Club Consortium in 2022. And Yakima Head Lighthouse was built in 1872 and has been the backdrop of a number of movies.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful black and white. I mean, when I see black and white, I like blacks and whites. So this is wonderful. And when I first saw it, I thought, oh, I didn't know Spain had lighthouses. I mean, I'm not a well-traveled person, so maybe you do, but it's very nice.
But they don't look like this.
Mm-hmm. Lovely leading lines to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's open for comments.
Mm-hmm.
Trevor, can you go back to the first one?
Yeah, Albarracine.
Yeah, I was just going to say that it would have been easy to have cropped off those top, supports or whatever, but yet they actually tie the picture together because of the shadow in the bottom.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a very super image.
Yeah. And the fact that you got the colors right too, because I try to do a lot of those shots, and either if it's too dark or too light, and the picture that you want to catch. So
yes, and as you say, with the colors, it can often bounce around, so your foreground is a completely different color balance to the background.
yeah. Yeah.
A very interesting image, I thought.
Yes.
The one that can you move it? The next one. That one, you said this is a new member or new to photography?
No, he's a very experienced professional, longtime professional photographer with a lot of major accounts.
Because I was wondering about if he had a reason why he had, I know it's not flare, but why the two sort of suns and the, looks like the way he photographed it, what was his thought process behind it? And at first I thought it was crooked, but that's the tree that's crooked.
Yeah, I did that too. Yeah.
I love the way that red circle of the flare just highlights everything inside it. This is a really exciting photo to me.
Yeah.
It's got an archival look to it. I don't know. Again, we don't know what the photographer was trying to accomplish, but it's not a straightforward documentary type of a pictorial shot. Clearly.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's interesting. It's interesting how the sort of the flare ties in with the post or tree that's sticking up.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's very pleasing. A super pleasing image. I want to be there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very typical of the Spanish scenery in the area where we are based.
So, Trevor, I have a question. I know that a lot of your members are international. So my question to you is, do people come in having an expertise? Like, will someone do just all nature? Someone might do all pictorial or architecture or whatever. Or do you find people trying to develop their style by trying different things?
It's probably a bit of both, in that I think everybody who joins, or not everybody, but a lot of people who join probably have a favorite idea. But one of the things we like to do in the club is to broaden everybody's horizons. And we have a monthly challenge on different subjects or different types of photography. It might be things like backlit and some things that are sometimes quite abstract in context, to try and encourage people to go out and use their imagination and basically stretch their comfort zone somewhat. So the answer is a bit of both.
Excellent.
That's great, because that's what I think. My own personal thought is I think that's what a camera club should do, is have people come in and try to have them stretch their mind, stretch their photography. That's how you learn.
Yeah.
That's how you grow.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. It also teaches you what you are not good at.
Yeah.
You try and fail.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Does your club do things like photojournalism? Because that's always challenging.
It is, yes. We've got a related one coming up, which is street life.
Okay.
Yeah.
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 So it's not photojournalism per se, but it's fairly close to it.
Yeah, that's good.
Thank you.
Trevor, could you go
Thank you.
back to the hat portrait?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The lighting is phenomenal on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
It's
very,
good.
very good.
Mm-hmm.
Was this like flash, or was it using window light? Curious.
Frank?
I
Are
think
you
he's,
there, Frank?
yeah.
Can you hear us? Are you muted?
Frank, where are you?
Hello, Frank.
oh, he's muted.
Right. Knowing what I know about this image, hopefully Frank will rejoin us. Are you there, Frank? No. Knowing what I know, it isn't flash. This was done either with window light or a constant artificial light. We had a practical portrait session in the club on a one day when we had a technology failure, and Frank did some explaining and some demonstrating as to how he did it, and I'm pretty sure that he used an artificial light.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I was away for a second. You asked how I did the light on that one. Was that the question?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
I used a simple desk light and actually a very simple black cloth in the background.
Wow.
And the blood up somewhere halfway the head, so I had to make it completely dark in post-production. And I used the sliders in the Adobe Camera Raw settings to correct the temperature and the highlights. And I used the gradual filter to emphasize the clear obscure effect.
What's on his head?
It's a paperback from a shop, actually.
That's what it looks like. And I thought, nah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had a lot of people that I know were having paper bags on their head. I had someone with, I think, 12 pairs of glasses on his head. I had someone with a cheese container. I draped an old jeans around the son of this man's head, which made him look a little bit like a sultan. But you could see the fly of the jeans. So it has to do with silliness and seriousness, I think. So.
The lighting is beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, you see his face. I think it's beautiful.
Thank you.
Okay, the next four images. This is called Monument Valley Clouds by Jeffrey Luth.
Good afternoon. Hi, thanks for all.
Jeffrey's here.
Oh, okay to talk about it?
Yeah. Hi, Jeffrey. Yes, please.
Hi, everybody. So this is, it's all about Americana. My images for this session are all about Americana. This is Monument Valley, which is on the border of Arizona and Utah. It's very iconic. It's an amazing place to visit. For those of you who haven't been there, I urge you to do it. It's loaded with all sorts of stone and pinnacles. It's just incredible. And this happens to be a composite. So the clouds and the moon I took near my home in Scottsdale, where I lived for 20 years before moving back east to Massachusetts. So I just thought that the coloring and the imagery worked, and the shape of the clouds and the shape of the formation frames it pretty well in my view. And so that's why I submitted this particular picture. That's all I have to say on that.
Thank you. Thank you. No doubt we'll come back to it in a moment. The next one is Morning in New Mexico by Peggy Nugent.
Okay, so this is from a photography workshop I just got back from recently, and it's just really incredible in New Mexico. I took this because I loved the tree in the foreground, but also wanted to capture the variations in the rocks in the background. So that's it.
Where in New Mexico were you for this?
It was the Ghost Ranch, where Georgia O'Keeffe used to live and paint. So it's a little bit sort of north of Santa
Taos?
Fe.
By Taos?
South of Taos,
Okay.
north of Santa Fe.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Have you been out to Tent Rocks?
No.
Okay. If you go back out to that area, check out Tent Rocks.
Okay.
The next one is Over the Sand by Jeffrey Luth.
Hi, so this is the Great Sand Dunes National Park in south central Colorado. It's quite an amazing place. I was out there a long time ago and was captivated by the tracks in the sand and the couple walking and the fact that you can just look forever and ever. I have different vistas that I've taken, but this one captures the shadowing and the sand and the tracks and the people just wandering. I really like this picture quite a bit. Trying to think when this was taken. Hang on.
You certainly get a feeling for the depths and the vastness. How hot is it there?
It could be pretty hot. I just lost oh man, anybody here getting old like me? I can't move my mouse anymore. The battery failed. So here it is. This it's not. Yeah. This was taken October of 2019. Sorry. Yeah, it's an amazing place. The vistas are incredible. And you can just walk forever and not see anybody or see a lot of sand. Anyway. So that's that.
The final one of the set is Saturday Night Live by Alan Stacey.
A friend of mine and myself happened on this place, which was also in Ashland, Massachusetts. And this fella, who was actually the bartender normally, but apparently puts on a show in the evenings. And he was playing, and I tried to sort of capture the whole mood with the menu and the list of events in the background. But just struck me as being, quite appropriate for this event that we have here, the international event.
Yeah. Thank you. Comments?
This one reminds me of the kinds of people you might see in the hills, the Appalachian Mountain Trail. I mean, look at that wonderful beard. I mean, seriously, did he sit down and sort of cut it and shave it that way? It's in black and white is great. And he looks very happy, and a fellow you want to go up to and say, "Hi, want a beer?"
Yes.
It's amazing. That's in one of our national parks, right?
Yeah, Monument Valley. Yeah, it's not Monument Valley is not a national park, but it could be. It should be. It's Navajo Nation.
And they built that, or is that a natural? That's got a name like steam pipe. Doesn't it have a special name?
Many of them do out there. There's the mittens, and the mittens are very well known. There's a couple of mittens. I don't know if this one has a name. It was one of the pictures I captured when we went out there, also in 2019.
And I love the moon around it and the fuzziness.
I've done other
Just add-
I've done other composites with this image. But this is the one I submitted, which are also nice, but this is the one I thought would be best for this session.
It's very evocative.
Tell me more about the background on that. Was that, is the darkness around the outside something that you captured, or is that?
Yeah. So I've taken pictures of the moon, a lot of pictures of the moon, typically rising over the mountains near where I used to live in Scottsdale. And I don't know if this one was taken there, but I've taken moon pictures and cloud pictures many, many times. And on this one, I was just captivated by the mysterious aura surrounding the moon. And I worked on with Photoshop and with Camera Raw to work on the coloring and the contrast a little bit, to try to make it pop as best I could. But yeah, it's you go out from beyond it and it's all dark. It was basically a night sky with some clouds moving in, which is a little bit unusual for Scott.
It's beautiful.
Because we don't get a lot of stormy weather there.
Right. Yeah. Beautiful.
What time of the day did you take the pic?
The picture of the rock formation was probably mid-afternoon. I'd have to go take a look at it. I might be able to do that in a minute, but yeah, we were driving through, so it was probably mid-morning is my guess, but I don't really know. I'll try to find that out.
Jeff, the face in the clouds certainly helps the whole image. As it's looking down at the monument there.
Yeah, good point. Yeah. I'm gonna go look at the data on this and see if I can find out what time of day that picture was taken.
Peggy, was that tree is just as it is? When I looked at it first, I thought that it was, somehow manipulated, but the tree in the foreground really looked like that, right?
Yeah, it really did. I do tend to manipulate my pictures, but actually I didn't do very much with this one. And it just seemed to kind of capture something that's unique to that part of our country.
Yeah, no, it's beautiful. I like it.
Yeah, thanks.
Alan, it was 4:06 p.m. as it turns out when I took that picture. And here, if you can see it, here's the native picture.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, yeah.
A little bit different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And very good effect.
I didn't even notice the face and the silhouette in the clouds on the left until somebody pointed it out. It's like, oh, very cool.
It's like the guy that the face of the mountain in New Hampshire that collapsed.
Yeah.
Man in the mountain.
Yeah.
I mean, just the magnitude. Where were you? Were you in a plane flying over?
No. There's dunes all over, and I was up a ridge looking down, basically, and looking out at this great expanse. And I'm not sure how far away these people were, but some of those tracks go pretty far. So no, I was just, it wasn't a what do you call them? Those things that fly. A drone. It wasn't a drone.
Oh, a drone, right.
It was just me standing there. I just happened to have a really good vantage point.
I've walked on sand dunes and I'll never do it again. I'm short and I kept sinking to my knees. It was not fun.
Jeff, are those dark areas just shadow?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That's very nice.
This is excellent.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I love it.
Peggy, I'm impressed by the sharpness of that photo. front to back. Were you on
Okay,
a
well,
tripod or?
No, I don't do tripods if I can avoid it, but I got a really good tip during the workshop, which is that if you put your camera in manual mode and do focus peaking, you can tell exactly where your picture is sharp. And it actually, I usually don't do landscapes, but it actually made me enjoy taking landscape photos more because I could tell what I was keeping in focus.
Oh, it's a great shot.
Yeah, thanks.
And it's so unlike you.
I know, right?
It's great. Next time we see it, we'll probably see it in an abstract and won't know what the heck it is.
Okay, this is the final set from Vera. This one is called The Watchtower and is also by Rachel.
And also obviously not in Europe. My background, my genre, if you like, is street photography, but there's not so much scope for that in Costa Rica. So I started photographing the monkeys instead. But using the same techniques as with street photography. So it's all handheld, just trying to capture, like, they're fascinating to watch. They're so funny. And just trying to capture like little candid moments, facial expressions, just monkeys doing monkey things. This one was outside my house. They run over the roof and then climb down the bamboo. I can't remember what he was looking at, probably another monkey, but I was pleased with it. And it got on the cover of a local magazine as well, so I was proud of it.
Coloring it's beautiful. Beautiful. I just want to go. I know you don't do it and pat the fur. You got the texture of the fur beautifully, and the colors. I just want to go, nice kitty.
These are quite gentle, the orange squirrel monkeys, they're okay, but we also have the black and white, the white-faced ones, and you wouldn't want to stroke them. You'll probably lose your hand.
The good neighbors.
Sorry?
Good neighbors. You have very good neighbors. You?
Oh, yeah. I've been trying to take one photo every day of a monkey, but I don't see them every day. I see them most days.
The next one is another wildlife picture. This one from Emilio.
Well, I was out looking for dragonflies to photograph, and then I stumbled upon this scene. This is a spider, female. I think you have them, and in USA as well. It's a banded garden spider. It's a big one. It's about 4 centimeters, the body. No?
Yuck.
It's a Archaeopteryx trifasciata. I think you have there. Had just captured a dragonfly in her web and was in the process of wrapping it in silk. And then you can see still clearly the wings, the legs, and the abdomen of the red dragonfly. It's in the photo. Well, I took the photo with my Olympus as well, and in this case with a macro lens. I was very close to the scene, about a few centimeters from them. I was very happy to see it and to take it.
That's beautiful. Everything is in focus and sharp, and the colors and the lighting.
Mm-hmm.
Of course.
Is that focus stacked?
Did you?
Are you?
That was my question as well.
What? Sorry. What was the question?
It's so sharp throughout the whole photo. Is that focus stacked or is that?
Yeah. It's stacked. Yes, it's about 17 photos.
Oh, 17. Wow.
Margaret,
Wow.
Stacking.
Okay.
It's stunning.
Yeah, it's nice to do it because it's a very quiet action, no? And it's all not moving and permits to you to take these photos. Anyway, it's handheld, without tripod. Just
Handheld, really?
yeah.
Wow.
It's the focus tracking is 17 pics without it. Yes, really the stabilization of the camera is very, very, very good in Olympus. And I'm very happy with that.
I can see why. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Well, the next one is one of mine. This is Carwinnan Quoit. This is an ancient structure, about 3,000 to 4,000 years old, in Cornwall in the southwest of England. They are called variously in different parts of the UK. They're often called dolmens in many parts, but quoits in the southwest of England. I like doing a lot of light painting, and that means going out in the darkest hours with a torch, putting the camera on a tripod, and taking photographs like this. I took this one just over a month ago when I was down in Cornwall, and at that time of year it never goes properly dark in the UK. We're just too far north, so you still, even though it's this is somewhere like 1 o'clock in the morning, there is still some light you can see in the sky, but the stars are breaking through quite clearly between the clouds. At the time, I was a little annoyed to have the clouds, but looking at the picture afterwards, I think the clouds add quite a lot of interest to what would otherwise have been a fairly featureless sky.
Yeah.
The technique involves multiple exposures. I put the camera on a tripod. I take an exposure for the sky, and the whole of the foreground is dark.
Right.
I then refocus on the foreground, change the ISO, change the aperture, and do a series of torchlit exposures, and then put them back together in Photoshop. And I use manual settings throughout: manual exposure, manual focusing.
How tall is that top stone, that such that you could light it with the torch?
This thing is about 10 feet tall.
Okay.
How far away from it are you? It doesn't appear that the one on top looks huge, but it doesn't have 10 feet. Wow.
It's big, yes. That's how the ancient people actually managed to maneuver these stones with such enormous weight. I have no idea. It's big.
And was it built as some sort of a temple or an offering for gods?
I don't think they actually totally know as to whether that is the case or a place of local burials.
So you took,
there's nobody we can ask.
so you took one or more pictures of the top part lit up, and then separate pictures of the grass lit up as well.
Yes, there will be about 5 or 6 exposures in the total image. One for the sky, and then a couple for the front of it, with side lighting on the monument. I went round the back and did a bit of backlighting, so I'm stood behind one of the stones with the torch to get that little bit of rim lighting that you see with it.
Yeah.
And then another one, as you say, for the grass.
Very nice.
Another 2 for the grass. I search out things like this, and my problem now is I've pretty well exhausted all the interesting things within about 2 hours radius of where I live.
Ah.
The final image from Vera is this one from Marlene, and as we found earlier, Marlene isn't here. The title of this image is Frame in Frame. Sadly, she's not with us. I cannot add any more to it.
Wow.
Any comments on any of?
That's a different way of doing frame in frame.
Right.
I would usually do frame in frame, like if you look on the lower left, there's like a doorway. Take a picture of the doorway and the other insides. That would be sort of more like a frame in frame than I'm used to seeing around here. You know, like we had that one photograph looking through the frame into another image. That's sort of more like I'm used to seeing. So this is an interesting take on that.
Yeah.
I love how there are so many different frames within this. The doorways, and even the unseen doorway with the light coming down.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And on the ceiling, that's really cool.
I think she actually took this photo in the place, had it printed and framed, and went with the framed photograph back to the original place as a concept, because she is, at the moment, she graduated as a sculptor as well. And of course, at the moment at the school, she have to work conceptually, and she's very good at that. And she was a professional photographer in the past.
Very cool.
And it looks like a difficult lighting area.
Right.
Love that one.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I have one more question on this one. What program was used to combine the images?
To combine them.
Yes.
I used Photoshop. Normally, I use always Photoshop to process my photos. No, and I used in the past some programs to make the photos, but at the moment I am quite happy with the Photoshop.
Okay.
And the camera, just the camera, when you take a focus tagging photos, the camera gives you a final pic in JPEG. In JPEG, merging all the photos. No, it's not the case, not this case, but sometimes for me is enough with the JPEG final pic of the camera to use it. No,
okay,
depends many times of the program, but I'm quite happy with Photoshop with that.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Trevor, can we go to your picture? A question.
Yes.
So you said you used 5 images, but when you were doing the backlighting and the side lighting, now did you take a number of images to hit that, or did you just know what the right exposure was?
No, I take quite a lot of images. I set the camera up on the tripod on continuous shooting. I typically set the exposure time to be about 15 seconds, which gives me time to go walk around. I'll find a spot where I want to light it from, and I'll probably do 3 or 4 different intensities of torchlight. So sometimes I might just show the torch for 2 seconds within that 15-second period, Other times I might wave the torch around for almost the whole of the 15. It just depends. Then I'll go back to the camera. I'll press play on the screen and flick through them just to give me an idea what is the right ballpark for the sort of lighting I want. And then I'll go back and adjust either my feet position or the torch angle or intensity, and do some more. And when I get one that I think that lighting from that position is exactly as I want it, I then go to the next position and start the whole process again for the different type of lighting I want in a different part of the image. So I'm probably there with the tripod doing the one photo for about 45 minutes to get all the components that I want in the image.
Came out beautiful.
Yes, and thank you. I have done some that are more complex than this. I did one recently on my last visit to Spain, which ended up with 15 separate exposures in it, and that took me well over an hour to capture all the individual components.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Okay. And the final 4 images. This one is Smoky Mountain Trees from Peggy Nugent.
Yeah. So this one was in the Smoky Mountains, and I did it with intentional camera movement. And what I really liked was the kind of the layers in this, the grass on the bottom, then the shadows, and then the light on the trees, and then the shadow in the background. When I took some straight, conventional shots of this too, but I think this captured the feeling of it more than the conventional shots did.
It works.
Yeah, very nice.
Thanks.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Thank you.
The lighting is great.
Yeah, the
the
lighting is incredible in those mountains.
And what, sorry. No.
And this, yeah.
What shutter speed you use for that?
What shutter speed?
Yeah.
I don't remember offhand, but when I'm doing ICM like this, sometimes I'll do it as like at a 40th of a second, or sometimes it'll be half a second. It depends on the lighting. And then and what aperture I use. The aperture doesn't matter so much when you're doing ICM, so it gives you a lot of flexibility.
Thank you.
Sure. And
next one,
go ahead.
It's also Peggy, and this is Smoky Mountains Meadow.
Yeah. So again, I don't do a lot of landscapes, but this one it was the sky that really got me. I just love the skies and then the colors beneath it.
Yes, the sky and the trees are lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This one is The Berg by Francis O'Connor.
And Francis isn't on the call, but I know from talking to him recently that he was going to Newfoundland and taking photographs of icebergs with his drone. So this is one of his drone photos.
Wow.
Looks like somebody sculpted it.
Yeah. I know it does, but it's
chisel and
he was showing me some from his phone when we were at our picnic. So I think this was one of the ones he showed me.
Looks like ruins in Greece.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I know if I hadn't talked with him at our picnic, I wouldn't have known what it was. But yeah, he has a few of icebergs, and he was hoping to catch them the day, leaving the Monday. Maybe he's probably back by now, but the first week in June, second week in June.
Look at how green the water is around the ice cap, but
Yeah.
everything, excuse me, everything else is blue.
Yeah.
So that means there's a big story underneath there that we don't see.
Right. Yeah.
I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And the final picture of the session is
Now, whose
one of
is
the
this?
models. Come on, Nanda.
Okay, this is really all about fun. I'm not a nature photographer, as I told you. I happen to be in a zoo, and I happen to see these animals. I didn't know who the heck they were, but all they did was danced and kind of whatever, and they had this kind of funny plumage. And so when I create my creatives, I let them speak to me and give me the storyline. So the storyline here is that all I could think of is they wanted to be models. And so they're modeling a brand new line of umbrellas, and it's really all tongue in cheek. It's just for fun. And I hope it brings a smile to someone's face. That's all the intent is here. But again, it's human-like behavior that animals have that we don't notice until we're pressed to do something like at a camera club and create photos of some sort. So anyways, just to end up with a smile, I hope you're smiling. It's not serious. Don't worry about it. It's not documentary.
Where did you get the color? It looks like lime green.
It's whatever it speaks to me as and what works to advance the storyline, and that's why it's that color. So
they're pretty birds. I mean, they're really
really weird. I've
birds.
never seen them. If you ever see them, you'll say, "Oh my God, they've got these curvy bodies and all this crazy hair," and it's just like they dressed up for a model session. Not that they're models, obviously. They're not. That's not serious, but that's what it reminded me of when I saw them. So like I said, don't kill me because it's not documentary. Don't worry about it. You won't lose any sleep over it. It's all for fun.
Nanda, the little touch of red in both their eyes, it makes me flip back and forth between the two of them.
Yeah.
And you have a little one on top of on top of the handle in the middle, right? You have another bird?
Yeah. They all, the funny part of it is they seem to emulate being umbrellas because they have this kind of rounded thing going on with their bodies. And like I said, it's all for fun. They probably are looking at me like I'm nuts and I'm on something, but
Nanda,
like I said, if it brings a smile, who cares?
Nanda, all of your images are beautiful and for fun. They're for flights of fantasy. That's what makes them so creative. It's, I would look at that and see a bird. Although I might do a close-up of the hair on the top one, the way it's all spread out, the face and the hair. That's interesting.
Yeah.
And the necks are like a question mark.
Thank you.
Stunning.
I see Mary Poppins.
Yeah.
I see Mary Poppins.
Now you're the one on something, not me. I just want to say I don't really talk a lot in these things, but I have to say I always am rewarded by wonderful work of art in photography in both clubs. It's just amazing the talent between the two. And I think the cross-cultural stuff going on, I think it just opens up my perspective more than it's ever been. And I hope it does the same in reverse. And I just love being a part of this community. So thank you from me. So
thank you, Nanda.
You're welcome. Yeah.
Thank you.
Nanda and Peggy are our resident creative creators.
Right.
So it's always interesting to see what they have to offer. And even when Peggy prints a photograph, she'll print it on some material. It's like, what is that? And the material she printed it on brings the colors even more out front.
Yes.
Well, we were within the time limit.
Pretty close.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. I
Yeah.
shall stop sharing.
Yeah.
Trevor, you did a masterful job of
Yes.
orchestrating
Yes.
this.
Yes. Thanks for
Amazing.
Thank you.
for getting us. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Well,
Well,
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
You did an amazing job of keeping us on time.
Right.
Thank you.
And I think we
thanks,
have,
Mary, for everything from your end as well.
Yeah. And
the
Elizabeth
people
was
that
my
assisted you.
also in the committee. And I also have to give a shout out to Trevor for, we had a last minute behind the scenes issue with resolution from the Gateway pictures, and he and Charlene, who people from Gateway know, were able to iron it out at the last minute on Friday. So I thank him for that too, because putting the slides together is hard to do.
it's like a movie. A lot goes on behind the scenes.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
I'm sure all of us have seen movies. And if anybody waits till the end of the movies to see the credits, oh my God, it's like 2,000 people, you know, stunt drivers and here and this and that.
Yeah.
The movies aren't just Brad Pitt. There's 100,000 people behind him. Not that I exaggerate, but thank you, Mary and Trevor and Charlene and the committee and Elizabeth. It's really, you make it look effortless, which is a sign of a good thing.
Well, I did very little. I think it was all Mary.
No, well, thanks. It's like anything when you have two people. Elizabeth would send a message like, "Oh yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Thank you." So yeah, appreciate.
Yeah, no, it's hard work, but it's fun. It's fun work.
Yeah, it was. It's definitely fun.
We get to see what surprised me and shouldn't surprise me was that some of the images were images that we do, like that first image of the staircase.
Yeah.
I was sure that was Lois's because she liked.
Yeah, that's why I said something about Lois. It's right up.
Yeah, I was sure it was Lois. And you know, and some of the other photos, it's like you do the same thing, like painting with light. Some of us paint with light, and like street photography. We the same thing, and it just shows we're not different.
Right.
We sort of think alike, and we sort of create alike. So, you know, but again, that first image, I was shocked when it wasn't Lois. I can't even tell you, I was speechless.
I wish it had been my image.
Great image.
Trevor, I'm curious, how did the translation work?
I will have to consult with Ostrigliano later, because he was the one that was attending, that would have been having the translation on. His English requires subtitle translation, so we'll do that offline afterwards. We'll speak with Ostrigliano, because I don't think he's with us now and able to answer that question.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if Emilio had translation on at the same time. Did you, Emilio?
No. I just without translation.
I just saw that Ostrigliano fell out and joined back a few times, so he probably had a bad connection. So I hope it all worked out for him.
Yeah, sometimes was connected, sometimes.
Bye, Andy.
Yeah.
But I can understand everybody. If I can understand the Scottish people, I think I can understand the rest of them.
Right.
I understood everyone. I mean, I'm always impressed with people who are so bilingual, where we in America, speaking for me, I don't have that, because my whole country speaks about the same language. But you're in a world where you cross borders and it's a different language. So thank you for speaking my language.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, thanks to everybody for that.
Yes.
Thank you so much. It was great. Great session.
Yes. Okay.
The format, by the way, the format was excellent.
The Google Meet. Yeah.
You know, kudos to whoever came up with that idea. That worked out very well.
Yeah, I'm glad.
The idea of showing a group of 4 images at a time, it was originally suggested 5, came from Gateway, and I think that was ideal. It was your suggestion, and we thought it would work.
Hi, Rachel.
Glad it would.
Yeah.
We're glad it did.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
Glad to see you again.
And
Yes.
I
Okay.
think we had a nice showing of people.
Yes.
You know, it wasn't overcrowded. It was nice.
Yeah. So, okay.
Yeah, I just
The,
turned
the
on.
meeting is being recorded, so we'll send a link to the recording in the coming days
Great.
for anybody who wants to look at it, who unfortunately couldn't attend.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Trevor. Yep. Okay.
Well, have a nice, healthy year, and I
Yes.
look forward to maybe doing this again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
likewise.
Hope
Yeah.
to see you next year.
Yes.
Hope
See you
so.
next year. Right. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Bye.
Now, everybody.
Goodbye. Thank you.
Yeah, bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.
Going to cut it. You leave it.